Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another theme park obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today I am back at Universal Studios Hollywood because I have to check up on Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift. They've just finished track work, so we're gonna head inside, check that out, maybe ride the studio tour and check up on a few other things. So how about you and I dive right in. Made it into the park and upon entering, they have a few more FanFest decorations showing up at the park entrance. Yeah, the event kicks off in just a few days. Well, actually in just a couple weeks. It's like 2 weeks and some change. The Universal Fan Fest Nights kicks off. Tickets are still on sale. I think the regular tickets are not sold out, but some of the express pass options are sold out, so just keep that in mind. Ooh, I'm loving the beautiful flowers right here at the front entrance, and they match with the Universal Fan Fest signage that they got. Wicked will be one of the things that you'll be able to experience at Universal Fan Fest Nights, and they brought the photo op back. And then over here closest to the DreamWorks Theater, it looks like we have some more one-piece decorations showing up, and they've added the popcorn lights that are going across the street here. This is one of those fan zones that they're talking about, so this will be pretty neat when it's all ready to go. And then over here at the Universal Plaza, the setup continues to grow. There's so many new things that are popping up almost every single day in preparation for the event. And look at this, over here at the Fast and the Furious building, all the scaffolding has come down on the front facing side. And yeah, it's looking great. Again, a lot of brick. That is a lot of brick. Yeah, I'm sure we'll start to see some windows go in right there. And then speaking of windows, they've been working on this spot past few days. And then if you look a little bit closer, you can see that on the inside of the building, that brick texture continues. And they haven't quite done anything on this side. You see they just put up the drywall, and maybe they're gonna start prepping for that texture to show up. You can see it right there, and just a slightly different angle. Again, you could even see it down here in the bottom. It's a nice little view of the brick that's going on in the interior space. Okay, I've made it down to the studio tour because I really wanted to get some good views of the Fast and the Furious roller coaster, but also I wanted to get you some views of the Halloween Horror Nights construction that has officially started for the 2025 season. I know, it's crazy. It's that time of year again where they have to start building the haunted houses because it does take them some time, and they don't really have that much time to build them and get them ready for the 2025 season. And in addition to getting good views of the Halloween Horror Nights construction and Fast and the Furious, we might even catch a glimpse of some active film and television. So it's really busy on the lot today, which is really cool. If you ever want to see that stuff, if you want to have a higher chance of seeing that stuff on the studio tour, come Monday through Thursday. That is the best time you have to try and capture some of that Hollywood movie magic. Because yeah, those are the busy times of the week that most productions are going to be working on the lot. They usually don't work on the weekends unless it's like a major production and they have to get something done. So hopefully we'll see some cool stuff. Oh, and then one more thing before I forget, they're putting up the entrance signage for the Back to the Future experience here on the studio tour. I think it's just the one sign right now, but maybe as we get a little bit closer to the opening, they'll put some more decorations down here. But yeah, everything's kind of slowly ramping up as we lead up to the grand opening of FanFest. Made it off the studio tour, and look at this. Here at the exit, they have a Back to the Future photo op all ready to go. Yeah, this is really cool. It's gonna look like you're at the top of the courthouse. And after getting a 3rd-degree sunburn on the side of my face because most of the tram ride I was in the sun, we did get some really good views of the Fast and the Furious coaster. It was looking really good. That dive loop is incredible, and it's really hard to tell on videos and in photos the scale. The scale of this is really impressive. And yeah, with that dive loop complete, that means the entire circuit of the coaster is finished. How cool. And then aside from the dive loop, it's just really cool to ride the studio tour and get amazing views of the rest of the layout. Like that bunny hop over the fire road into the corkscrew element, it looks so good from the studio tour. So yeah, if you're here at Universal Studios Hollywood, don't miss the studio tour for obvious reasons because it's amazing. But if you want to get really good views of the coaster, yeah, the studio tour's got you covered going down timeline. Aside from the coaster, there was some really cool moments of active production on the Universal lot this afternoon. They're filming a couple commercials and a TV show, and yeah, we got really close to some of those productions, so it was really nice to see that, especially on the Metro set. A lot of equipment ready to go and set up for whatever commercial that's going to be, and I'm sure when the commercial airs, we'll see that portion of the Metro sets, which is really cool. And then when it comes to the Halloween Horror Nights front, 2 haunted houses have officially started construction, one of them being behind Transformers and the other one being on the surface lot next to the Curious George parking structure. And the one that's behind Transformers hasn't gone vertical just yet, at least from that vantage point. I'll get a better vantage point once we go over to the lookout, heading down to the lower lot. But the tent is up, so that's really exciting stuff. Location confirmed. And then the surface lot haunted house, which we've seen in the past. We've seen 2 haunted houses down there for quite some time now. And they've officially started construction on one of them. So if it's just like previous years, we might see another one pop up here in the next few weeks or maybe even month. But what's really cool about the surface lot one is they've officially started construction on the facade. And let the speculation begin. I have no idea what this haunted house is going to be. They have not made it official as to what IP this is or what original haunted house this is going to be. It's one big mystery, and I'm so excited because, yeah, it's that time of year again. I am stoked for Halloween Horror Nights construction. I always look forward to it, and of course I look forward to the event opening up in September because that's usually when it opens up. So the fact that Halloween Horror Nights construction is now active is really cool, and yeah, we got some really good views right at the tail end of the studio tour. But with that, let's continue the journey. Yeah, let's head over to the lookout, check up on the HHN haunted house behind Transformers. I want to see if they've officially started the layout. I think they have. And then also, we can get some good views of that dive loop from that vantage point as well. So exciting stuff. Yeah, it is a beautiful day, by the way. It is nice and warm. I'm wearing my shorts and my short sleeve. It feels like a beach day. It's a really good day to be in the park. Made it down the first escalator, and here's your look at the HHN haunted house being built behind Transformers. Again, we do not know what this one is supposed to be, but we can confirm that they have officially started the layout. You can see right there on the ground that those pieces of lumber have been placed to form the pathway that we will take in this haunted house. So really exciting stuff. I cannot wait to see it go vertical, which should be in the next couple of weeks. They usually start the vertical construction really quickly, and then eventually over the next couple months they'll build out the facade, and then we'll start to really get a good idea as to what this haunted house might be. And then zooming back out here on the hillside, you can see not a lot has changed since my last video a couple days ago, but they did add some more pieces of steel over here, and these pieces of steel will probably go right into the ground, very similar to what we've been seeing with Fast and the Furious. So I think they're building a massive retaining wall, which will then have something to do with maybe a larger project. And then going back to Halloween Horror Nights really quick, work has not started on a haunted house behind Revenge of the Mummy. Still gonna keep an eye on this, but they are staging some stuff for Universal FanFest nights. Oh yeah, and then here's another view of that dive loop that has just recently been completed. I think yesterday it was completed at the time of making this video. So congratulations to the crew that's been piecing this thing together. They were able to get this coaster done really, really fast, at least as far as the layout is concerned. There's still a lot more work to do until its grand opening, but I'm glad that they were able to finish the circuit relatively quickly. Over here closest to French Street, work continues on the turnaround section that leads back into the station, load and unload area. And I think today the main focus is a lot of electrical. There's a lot of crews plugging some stuff in right here. This is all being worked on. And then I've seen crew members walk back and forth looking at the drive tire motors. So yeah, it just could be a day of electrical work. Because then eventually, probably within the next couple months, the coaster cars themselves will be linked up, and then they'll slowly start pushing them through the layout. They have to get the layout ready to go, so then they can do the initial pull-through test. And then maybe sometime this summer, into late summer, we'll see full-fledged run-throughs with the coaster cars. It's gonna be really exciting. Made it over here to the lookout, and the big news over on this side of the project is this right here. Look, the crane is gone. They have disassembled that massive crane because they don't need it anymore. They don't need to lift any more things into the main show building or work on any area of the track. So now the next question would be, are they gonna reuse this concrete base and maybe turn it into some thematic element for the coaster? Because that would be kind of a pain in the butt to try to rip that back out. So maybe they'll reuse it and they'll build upon it and do something cool. Oh yeah, you can see off in the distance there. I'm not gonna zoom in too much on the construction workers, but you can see they are messing around with the drive tire motors. And then there's some more crew members over here closest to the maintenance shed. So yeah, that again, I think is the main task, is to just make sure that these areas of track that require electricity are kind of ready to go. Because yeah, they're gonna start testing here within the next couple of months. I guess another question would be, where is the flag going to go? Because now that the coaster is done, they usually top it off with a flag, and I don't see a flag at the top of the stall. And the last piece that was installed was over here at the dive loop. So I don't see anything over here either. So yeah, where's that flag gonna go? Let me zoom in and give you a better look. Look at that profiling, that is nuts. That is so cool. Just a little bit closer here. Mind you, we're gonna be spinning through this. We are going to be spinning through this entire thing. Legit. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. I think my favorite part of the ride, of this whole entire thing, is probably gonna be the launch into the stall. Like this entire section, I think is gonna be my favorite, just because we're gonna be going so fast to get enough momentum to get through it. I mean, we're all the way at the bottom of the hill there. This is gonna be going at least like 70 miles an hour. I mean, it has to. So this is probably gonna be my favorite. But I don't know, that roll at the end though, right before the brake run, that inversion that's just right behind that steel structure, that might be a doozy as well. Over here at the Parisian Courtyard, if you're wondering if they're gonna put a haunted house here, my best guess would be yes, because we've seen one pop up in this location for years and years and years, but they probably won't start construction on it until after the FanFest nights are over, because they're gonna wanna use this extra seating and everything like that, and they're not gonna wanna do construction during a special event. We have some FanFest signage out front of the former Walking Dead building, and we have a new sign right here. Let's see what this one is. Ooh, Star Trek. This will be the entrance for the Star Trek Red Alert experience. Made it out of the park. That was a fun little update. I was happy to see the finished layout for Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift. Well, that's going to do it for today's very quick video from Universal Studios Hollywood. Yeah, the main focus today was the coaster and some of the Halloween Horror Night stuff. I really wanted to see that in person. So I hope you enjoyed today's very quick vlog, because if you did, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these videos from Universal or some of your other favorite theme parks, well, you should consider subscribing, because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. And also be sure to check me out on X and Instagram. Those links will be down below in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.